In the Know, a radio program talking to the newsmakers in Ogle, Lee, DeKalb Counties, and beyond, keeping you in the know. Here's your host, Charles Van Horn.
Good morning, and with us is Marketing Manager Andy Jackson with Sinnissippi Centers. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sinnissippi Centers always loves supporting youth in the area, and once again, you guys are offering scholarships to high school seniors from Bureau, Carroll, Lee-Ogle, Stevenson, and Whiteside counties. What would a senior have to do in order to apply for one of these scholarships?
Well, first off, it would be for a senior seeking a career in the human service field. So it will recognize and reward high school seniors that are on that path to higher education with that $1,000 scholarship that they're going to use toward a full-time, or it could be a part-time course of study. That's number one. But also, it's laid out in the application that's online as to what some of the requirements are, which is an application, a transcript, an essay, and a letter of recommendation. And there's more details online on our website under the scholarships page.
And this is encouraging seniors to go to the human services fields like social work, psychology, or sociology, all things that matter to Sinnissippi Centers.
Yeah, behavioral health care would be the probably even broader term than some of those, but yes, absolutely.
And to find out more information about these scholarships and the details that you need to apply as a senior, where can they go?
Yeah, they can call our Dixon office at 815-284-6611 and ask for the administration department and say that they're inquiring into the scholarship program, and that would be the best way to go.
And applications are due by March 14th, so time's ticking to get that done.
Absolutely.
And Andy Jackson, Marketing Manager with Sinnissippi Centers, you guys have a new facility that's going to be opening up in Byron.
Yeah, that's true. You know, as we've gone through the pandemic, people have realized there's more. We've talked about that before. There's a lot more awareness about mental wellness. We've seen a spike in demand. We've tried to meet that demand, and that continues. And one of those steps in our strategic plan then was to open a new office. And even though we have two offices in Ogle County, both the Oregon office and the Rochelle office were just very, very, very busy. It was clear that a third office in Ogle County was needed. So that will be located in Byron. Construction is ongoing now. Interior construction, the building exists, but making it ready for use of Sinnissippi is ongoing through maybe the end of this month, maybe a little bit later.
And this will be convenient for folks wanting, obviously, if they're an existing client, this will obviously shorten their commute, but also for people in the area who may have transportation issues, they can certainly go directly to you now in Byron.
Absolutely. And while it isn't our main county of our main focus, shall I say, we don't consider it part of our main service area, we were seeing to the Oregon office and in some cases the Rochelle office individuals seeking services from Winnebago County, and we will probably see a number of those as well. But certainly yes, you're correct. Or in and around the Byron area, it'll definitely be a shorter trip to seek services at Sinnissippi Centers.
And what are some of the services that Sinnissippi Centers offers if somebody has some mental health crises, things like that? When should they seek out Sinnissippi Centers, and how do they reach you guys?
Sure. That can be a long answer. We offer quite a few services for all ages within the behavioral health care and the universe, I guess you would say. Usually the criteria is if you notice that something's changed in your life is being impacted by something, say it might be depression, substance use, anything like that you're noticing a change in your life and you're noticing negative impacts, that's usually one of the more common signs, I suppose you would say, that you might need to seek somebody like a Sinnissippi Centers.
And you guys have a website somebody can check out to find out more details and to make an appointment or find out more information?
Absolutely. Great place to start is our website at www.sinnissippi.org. We have our services there. We have a links page full of information, links to our social media. We have a YouTube channel that is kind of like a video links page where you can learn about all kinds of things having to do with behavioral health. So Sinnissippi.org is a great place to start. Our 800 number is there as well.
Andy Jackson, Marketing Manager with Sinnissippi Centers. Thank you so much. Shifting gears this morning, let's welcome Michelle Lorenz from the Byron Chamber of Commerce. Good morning. You started your new role as director earlier this month. A lot of fun things happening in Byron. What are you looking forward most to being involved with in the coming year?
All of them. I love all of our events. The last 3 years, obviously, I've been on the board, so I've already volunteered for all of these events. And now I just get to be on the flip side of that and help organize them. So our newest event will be coming up in October of this year. Brand new Chamber Field Days that we're going to be hosting. So be on the lookout for more information on that.
The Byron Chamber helps out in the community by not only bringing all the area businesses together, but coming up with fun community activities. You talk about the upcoming field days. How great is it that Byron supports not only their local businesses, but also your fun activities and get-togethers?
That's why I do this job. That's why I wanted this position, is to be able to be involved in that, because I have been in Byron for a little over 20 years. I've raised my kids in Byron, and I frequently went to all of these events in the past. So it's just something I like to be able to give back now.
And thank you so much, Michelle. For details on what the Byron Chamber has going on, check out their website. Easy to find at byronchamber.com. Shifting gears once again, we're going to talk with Andy Shaw. Andy Shaw is the administrator of the Lee-Ogle Enterprise Zone. Good morning. A bunch of big things underway for the Enterprise Zone in regards to some, well, you could say new amendments that you guys are going to be doing to add some additional projects.
We're doing an amendment to our Enterprise Zone map to bring in 3 new projects that we didn't anticipate. We do a lot of Enterprise Zone projects around in areas of the map that are already established. But when we need to accommodate a new project that we learn about that we want to help, we have to go into this process where we pass ordinances through all the units of local government that are partners in the Enterprise Zone, including City of Rochelle and Ogle County, where I was at last night at the Ogle County Board. And so that process allows us to make a change to our map, and then we ask the state of Illinois for their approval of that. It takes a few months. But, yeah, that's what we're doing right now.
Let's talk about the Lee-Ogle Enterprise Zone. When it was set up, is there a fixed number of acres that can be in the zone?
There's kind of a statutory cap. It's around 15,000 acres, so it's quite large. But that's, still a small fraction of 2 whole counties. So we do have to pick and choose what we want to put in the Enterprise Zone to best use that space. We try to focus on business, commercial, industrial purposes with that.
Let's start talking about the first of 3 things, the pub and patio in rural Lee County. Where is that going to be located at?
Well, there's a place, it's about halfway between Amboy and Sublette on US 52. It's around the intersection of 52 and Lamoille Road. And there's a site that it was a business in the past there, had like a pumpkin patch and some things like that, a seasonal business that was there years back, but it's been closed for a while. These new investors purchased that property to put their business on.
They're going to be building a structure there then, and a bowling facility, right?
The bowling is at the other site at Pub and Patio, which is down Lamoille Road at the entrance to Woodhaven. That's the other one. At Fun on 52, the concept drawings I've seen include golf activities and an elevated go-kart course, a go-kart track that has an elevated turns and things. It's a really elaborate, beautiful design. And then, an indoor restaurant and indoor entertainment space as well. So that's the Fun on 52.
All right. And then the other one is obviously Oregon getting an expansion to an existing factory. I've already talked to the mayor of Oregon. He's really excited about that. What kind of benefits is this factory going to be getting by having it be included in the Lee-Ogle Enterprise Zone?
Yeah, and with the other as well, but they are able to use the Enterprise Zone tax incentives in two ways. One being building materials sales tax exemption, and that allows them to set up a project with me. I issue them tax certificates so that all of their contractors can buy those building materials, anything that's going into the ground there, permanently attached to the ground real estate. They become sales tax free, so they can save, entirely on the sales tax side when they're purchasing that. And then later, when a project is completed, the real estate tax typically changes to accommodate the new investment being made, and that's something that automatically happens with the real estate tax after you build something in Illinois. And once that happens in the enterprise zone, they can save then 50% over the first 6 years of that new amount that's added by the project. So it's a nice savings. And at HA International in Oregon, there's an existing industrial facility there. That facility will continue to pay what it was already paying in real estate tax, but they're adding a building next to it for this new production line, and that new amount would be able to be abated at 50% for 6 years. So it's something that allows them to have a nice savings on what they added, while still keeping the existing amount of real estate tax coming in for those taxing districts.
And let's talk about the big one then, the Constellation Energy's Byron plans. Mm-hmm. There are lots of activity around that plant. This is going to be, your guys' involvement is going to be the upgrade to the turbines in the system. This is not going to be in part of any of the other plans that may or may not be happening around the area, right?
Right. I mean, you've probably heard that the company has a lot of land around the nuclear power plant. I wasn't even aware of how much land they have. It's quite extensive, actually. But they had that recently rezoned by the county for industrial future uses. That this, what we're doing, isn't involved with any of that potential process of what they might get for those pieces of land. What this is an improvement to the actual nuclear plant that will allow them to put out an additional 79 megawatts of clean power out of the same plant, essentially by upgrading to a lighter and stronger, bigger turbines.
You talked about the timeline it'll take the state of Illinois to put all this together. What are you looking at for these projects to get, at least on your end, to get approved to offer the tax benefits and the like? How long does that take through the state? Yeah,
and we'll have about a month from now, we'll be complete at our end with submitting things to the state. They take about 90 days. So we're hoping and hopeful that early summer we'll have these cleared through their process.
What's next in the future in the next year for the Lee-Ogle Enterprise Zone? Are there other sort of nibbles out there for development that you guys might be involved in, or regions of Ogle or Lee County that there's some exciting changes happening?
I mean, we're just continuing the big areas, continuing work in there. Nothing to announce yet, but there are always a slew of projects at various stages of the attraction process in Rochelle, especially around the Stewart Road corridor and extending into Lee County. Always a lot of companies looking at those properties and considering their options there. Dixon as well has the Interstate 88 interchange on its south side. They call it the Gateway Project. One hotel just opened there, True by Hilton. They have a second one, Marriott Fairfield, that is near it. So Dixon is looking at having a lot more visitor capability there at that area of town, and a lot of other things have happened as well, including a YMCA daycare that has a lot of openings that just had their ribbon cutting. So to support that whole industrial area that is around that interchange, those folks, a lot of them need childcare to make their work life possible. So we're excited to see that happen as well. But yeah, those are the key areas that we work in, Dixon and Rochelle, and always can mention a lot of our smaller towns have projects as well. But the big, headline and big splash projects are in those, and we'll hopefully have some announcements soon, especially on that industrial side of Rochelle.
Thank you so much, Andy Shaw, for joining us.
Thank you for listening to this week's In the Know. The program returns next week at this time with another great conversation with someone from your community.